Greetings, my fellow creeps, and welcome to DadPooL discussion. I'm your host, DadPooL. Happy Halloween Eve. How are you guys doing tonight? Uh, got your pumpkins ready? Did you get them carved? Got your costumes all laid out? Get ready for tomorrow. If you're going trick or treating, if you're handing out candy, hope you guys are ready for that. Tomorrow there will be a live stream, so we'll have day 31 of DadPooLoWeen, and also going to have a live stream, which will be simulcasted on my channel and my son's channel, DadPooL Gaming. So, and we'll be trick or treating, however long it takes, hour and a half. We're just gonna bring you that live. So if you wanna tune in and check out what our costumes are gonna be, you can just turn on that notification bell, like and follow or subscribe, and you'll know when that video, that live, and future videos do come out. But we're here because it's day 30. And what I have been doing on the previous days is just watching one movie. But for day 30, I couldn't just watch one movie. I watched 8 films. So yes, day 30 is all about the Universal monsters. We all know them. We all love them. They're a foundational piece to horror and film in general. Without them, we don't have the Freddy Kruegers, the Nightmare on Elm, or the Jasons, the Halloweens, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even the newer films like Terrifier, or Smile, things like that. I mean, these were the characters that started it all, and there'd be no MCU if it wasn't for these guys, because the Universal monster universe started way before Kevin Feige thought about bringing Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and whatnot together. These are true superheroes of film, even though they represent the spooky horror genre. So I know there's a lot of films that you can include within the Universal monsters, and I'm not saying you don't go and watch them all. I focused on 8 films. Those 8 films are, let's see, in no particular order, was The Invisible Man with Claude Rains, Creature from the Black Lagoon, which is one of the top films ever, The Wolfman with Lon Chaney, probably one of the best wolf transformation scenes, one of the better scenes. I mean, right up there with American Werewolf in London, Teen Wolf. Yeah, it's a great movie. Frankenstein, it's a staple. The Bride of Frankenstein, can't forget about her. The Mummy, Boris Karloff. The Phantom of the Opera, Lon Chaney, which the remake with Robert Englund is, if you haven't seen it, it's a very, very good remake. The poster's kind of misleading because it looks like it has like a Freddy face with the phantom mask, but it's such a good remake. It's one of the better remakes of the Universal monsters. Obviously, can't forget Dracula, Bela Lugosi. So yeah, those are the 8 films that I watched. And again, they're not that long of movies. I think no more than an hour and a half. Some of them are like an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 20 minutes. So you could most certainly binge these movies in a day and be happy and be satisfied. Like I said, these are the originators of horror, and it would be unfair to just pick one of them for a day for DadPooLoWeen, so I chose to pick 8. And let me tell you, it's a great time. It's a fun time to watch. It's, black and white. Nothing does it like a black and white film. The aesthetics, the background, just the practical effects. It's you're not gonna see the crappy CGI in these films. You're gonna see simple yet effective effects that 100% relay a dark tone, a dark meaning, or a horrific scene. So I'll go through and I'll list off all the movies that are within the Universal Monster films. Like I said, I only watched 8. So we have Phantom of the Opera in 1925. We have Dracula and Frankenstein in 1931. We have Murders in the Rue Morgue, The Mummy and the Island of Lost Souls in 1932. The Invisible Man in 1933. The Black Cat in 1934. The Bride of Frankenstein, Werewolf of London, and The Raven in 1935. Dracula's Daughter in 1936. Son of Frankenstein and the Tower of London in 1939. The Invisible Man Returns, The Mummy's Hand, The Invisible Woman in 1940. The Monster and the Girl, Man-Made Monster, and the Wolfman in 1941. The Ghost of Frankenstein, Invisible Agent, and the Mummy's Tomb in 1942. Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, Captive Wild Woman. Phantom of the Opera, another version, Son of Dracula and the Mad Ghoul in 1943. The Invisible Man's Revenge, The Mummy's Ghost, House of Frankenstein and the Mummy's Curse in 1944. The House of Dracula in 1945. The House of Horrors and She-Wolf of London in 1946. And then we get some comedic relief with these Universal monsters. We have Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein in 48. Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man in 51. Then we get Creature from the Black Lagoon in 1954. And then the following year in 55, we get Revenge of the Creature, Abbott Costello Meet the Mummy, and then in 1956, we get The Creature Walks Among Us. So those are the films that are involved with the Universal Monsters, umbrella. Those are all the movies that fall under it. After the Universal horror films were syndicated to television, this led to a rise in the popularity of merchandise based on Frankenstein's monster and Dracula. Throughout most of the 60s and into the 70s, Universal monsters were promoted via merchandising, which included Halloween costumes, Aurora model kits, paperback novelizations, makeup how-to manuals, t-shirt iron-ons, posters, trading cards, and more. And since 1991, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Destinations and Experiences have featured characters from the Universal Classic Monsters franchise. From 2006 to 2014, the characters also appeared in the year-round walkthrough attraction, Universal's House of Horrors at Universal Studios Hollywood. The franchise is also a central theme of Universal Orlando's Horror Makeup Show. The live show opened in 1990 at Universal Studios Florida and is still in operation. Merchandising of the characters in formats such as clothing and board games has continued to this date. And I remember being in Florida last year and went to Universal Studios, and there we sat and there was a presentation where they talked about classic movie monsters, classic makeup, and a lot of these these creatures were highlighted. They talked about the use of practical effects. It was funny, they called someone on stage to take part in getting like butchered, and it was all practical, all fake. It was a great experience. These monsters, like I said, have had such a history in cinema and in pop culture. I mean, we have serials based off these characters. I mean, the plethora of remakes, and a lot of them unnecessary. But yeah, there's a remake to every Universal monster. There's even a crappy like a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. I think it came out, I want to say 2010, 2014. I saw it while searching through like Tubi. But like, we have we have so many Frankenstein movies. Some of the, one of the worst ones is I, Frankenstein. Oh, I mean, terrible. And we had we have tons of Dracula movies. There's The Invisible Man, which was technically remade a couple times, like, because the Hollow Man is kind of a play on the Invisible Man, which I thought that was really good. Then there was the actual Invisible Man, and then there was The Mummy that came out with Tom Cruise and Sofia Boutella, which they were trying to start a Universal dark universe with that film. Fortunately, that film flopped, so we never got to see that universe come to fruition. But I would have loved. I don't think that movie was that bad. I thought Brendan Fraser's Mummy was more on point with The Mummy, but I would have loved to see, done right. I think we need a dark universe. I think we need to see these characters brought back to life in a proper way. In a way that respects not only the original character itself, but the families of those characters, because unfortunately a lot of those characters that were playing the iconic Wolfman and Invisible Man and Dracula, they've all passed on. So all we have is the family left. So I think out of respect for the family and for the characters, if they were to do a dark universe and really connect it and do it properly, use practical effects, try not to modernize it, try to set it back into that era of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. See, that's the thing, when movies are remade, they try to modernize it and put it into present time. I think remakes only work for a majority of time. There are some remakes that are set in modern times that work. Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that remake, that works as well. But when you're modernizing it, like Wrong Turn, horrible. Even Psycho is kind of like, keep it to that time period as best as you can, and just build that franchise, build that universe. I would love to see it. What are your opinions on the Universal monsters? What movies have you seen? What is your favorite? Is this something that you watch during October, or because it's on TCM a lot? It's on Turner Classic Movies. These come up quite regularly because they are that good, and it's deservingly so to be on a channel like that. And I'm glad that channel still exists, because there was talks of it of it going away. Studio wanted to get rid of that channel, and I know there was a band of directors and producers and actors that wanted to save it. Didn't come to that point. It's still operational, so keep TCM, because they have the original content of these movies, not just the Universal, but classics. They keep it in the same way that it came out originally. There's no cuts, there's no changing of scenes because maybe a certain topic is not appropriate at the time. No, these movies are preserved 100%. So let's keep movies that way. But what are your thoughts? Again, what are you guys doing for tonight for Halloween Eve? Are you going to watch All Hallows Eve, which is a great introduction to Art the Clown? That's a great movie to watch. I know on AMC, they're doing a Halloween marathon, a Halloween on Halloween. I just got done watching Halloween 3, which is one of my favorites of the franchise. I did review that early on in this DadPooLoWeen series. So yeah, what are you doing? What are some of your activities that you're partaking in tonight? Like I said, we carved a pumpkin last night. Excuse me, and we got our costumes already. We have costumes. I'm gonna be getting dressed up. Xander's gonna be getting dressed up, and we're gonna do white people thing. We're gonna dress up our dog because our dog is already. She's a vicious but friendly dog. She looks intimidating, but she's a sweetheart. And I can't wait for you guys to see the costume that she'll be in. It's gonna be epic, and I just hope that she keeps it on and doesn't chew at it like she was trying to do when we test fit it for her the other day. I hope that she is distracted enough when we're walking around on Halloween night trick-or-treating that she's just doesn't care about it. So we'll see how it goes. Either way, we'll be coming to you live, so make sure you hit the notification bell for that. It's gonna be a fun time. But yeah, today's day 30, and the Universal Monsters is what I picked today. Like I said, I couldn't just pick one. I had to watch the eight ones that I enjoy, the 8 staples of the Universal Monsters. So let's go through some images that I found. So here's another image of the Universal Monsters. Look at them. They're great. You got Frankenstein's monster right in the middle, and then you got the other ones kind of hovering above. Great images from the movie. That Phantom of the Opera, again, one of my favorite movies of all time, and the remake is wonderful. Again, Robert Englund's in that. You should definitely check that out. And we have this more colorized modern version. Again, Frankenstein's monster, the focus of this in just about every cover, but it still catches their likeness. You can still pick out Boris Karloff as the mummy. It's just a flawless photo. Again, this is what was on the thumbnail, and then we can go to some of the pictures that I create. So here's my version of DadPooL as the Phantom. I wish it would have had a little bit more skull face to it, but I'm not mad at it though. I can appreciate it. And then here's one version of me as Frankenstein. There's a couple different Frankensteins that came out really well. We have this Frankenstein. We have this Frankenstein, which is kind of like new. It's kind of like new age. It's got like, instead of bolt, it's got like this metal tubing connecting from the neck to the head, which is kind of different. Then we have this one. This is a great image. Look at those eyes. It kind of reminds me of Jason X eyes. And then I have this one here where I'm kind of playing with Frankenstein's monster's face. He's kind of dressed up. He's getting ready for his job interview at the daycare. And then I have, this is the only one I could really make from like the Invisible Man, because he always wore that outfit, the jacket and a hat. So there's my Invisible Man get up. Here is me as the mummy. Here is myself and the creature from the Black Lagoon. We're talking about sardines and what's the best fish underwater, and is algae really good, and he's teaching me how to hold my breath and whatnot. So again, Creature from the Black Lagoon, one of the best movies ever created. Check it out. Creature, the Return, the sequel, Revenge or Return of the Creature. I forget the exact title. Revenge of the Creature. That's another great film as well. So definitely check it out. And then we have here myself as the Bride of Frankenstein. I don't know why it made that one with like a dress like that. Don't get it. But, that's AI. And then we have here myself as Dracula. Kind of put me into this like Transylvania body, like fighter type army version of Dracula. But look at the fangs. Those fangs are nasty. And here's a couple versions of me as the werewolf, as the Wolfman. So I have that one in front of a nice looking moon. It's pretty that look good on a shirt. Dad Wolf. I may have to make that. And then we have here another version of the Wolfman. So yeah, those are all the pictures I have that associated with the characters. Here's me just chilling with some of them. Look at that Frankenstein monster. He's big. He's like a Herman Munster type. So big. Again, what is your favorite character of from the Universal monsters? I'm curious. I want to know why as well. So like drop the comments down. Your favorite movie, your favorite character, maybe a brief explanation as to why. Just be engaging. And I look at every comment. I respond to every comment that's left. So no comment left behind. So speaking of pictures, with this channel, beginning January, I've been saying it for about a week now. I put a post up on YouTube where there's a poll. You guys can vote on what do you think your favorite new logo design would be. So I have this logo here you can vote on. 2 mics, 1 DadPooL. Pretty funny. Then I have this design, which is more of like a podcaster setup. And then this one here. Which one's your favorite? Go vote. And I'll make that decision January 1st when we start 2024. I like all three of them now. All three of them are pretty clean, so make sure you get your vote in. Community tab, just in the YouTube profile. And then starting, I know DadPooLoWeen is sadly coming to an end tomorrow. And we'll be into a new month with November, and we'll have some good movies to cover in November. There are some Thanksgiving movies out there. The one that I'm going to mainly cover will be Thanksgiving. I know there's Thanksgiving, but I won't. As much as I love that movie, I'm gonna allow that to be not allow it. I don't want to say allow it, but I'm not gonna step on anyone's shoes and cover that, because that's not who I am. I'm gonna let that person cover that movie because it is his favorite for the holiday. So although I love that movie and I think the turkey's crazy in it, I will not be covering those two movies, but I'll be definitely covering Thanksgiving. And if I can go through and find any other Thanksgiving themed movies, I'll definitely review them. But I do have a series coming up in November called DadPooL's Discussions Horror Then and Now, where I'll be comparing and contrasting original to the remakes and reboots of horror films. And the first one I have up is Hellraiser 87 versus Hellraiser 2022. So it'll, vastly different films, like I said, different aesthetics, different visuals, different effects, different dialogue, different characters. These are almost two different movies. But we'll discuss this more when on the show, and that will be starting next weekend, or this weekend coming up, I should say. Either Saturday or Sunday. I just have to figure out what time or how I feel post laser surgery on Friday, because I'm having laser surgery on my right eye, and I have no vision in my left, so I'm not going to be able to see for a little bit until my right eye heals from the laser surgery. So depending on how I feel, I could get it out Saturday or I can get it out Sunday. But it will definitely be coming out this weekend. And if there's a franchise that you want to talk about, that you want to compare original to remake, certainly check out the description, go to my Twitter, message me, and we can definitely debate, talk about it, have a great conversation. And then a month later, we have, starting in December, we have our 25 Days of Christmas Horror, where I'll be covering Christmas slashers and holiday slashers and dark holiday movies for 25 days. And similar to DadPooLoWeen. So if there's a movie, if there's a director out there that has a movie that's holiday themed and you want to come on the show, we'll definitely make that work. Just hit me up. Hit me up on Twitter, and we can showcase that movie, have you on, do an interview and just a chill talk about it, and maybe talk about your future projects and whatnot, and where people can find you. So look for that in the next month. And then January, I got some ideas for January. Some horror and some non-horror related. So the horror related one, actually, it's horror and it's all film. So we're going to be doing a 50 villain, 50 greatest heroes of film. Some of them might be horror, some of them might be regular film. So I got that is on the slate. Then we're also going to do, I'm going to work out a title for this, but the sequels of movies. Did the sequel to a franchise kill or revive or help aid the success of that franchise? So there's a lot that we can talk about. There's a lot of bad sequels out there, and there's a lot of good sequels. So we're going to be narrowing it down. And if you want to come on and discuss a certain sequel to a franchise that you feel would fit this theme, then definitely, again, Twitter DM is the best way to get a hold of me at. So yeah, I think that'll be about it for today. Just make sure you guys, again, hit the like button if you enjoy this content. Follow, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you know when more content like this will be coming out, and there's a lot of it coming out in the future. So be alerted. No matter what platform that you're on, there's a button to follow, and I'll be there. All the links are in the description. Make sure you check out the Discord. Make sure you check out the merch store. And then the links to all the movies that I watched are also in the description. So if there's something you haven't seen or you're curious about and you want more information about it, click the links in the description. It'll take you to each one of the IMDb pages where you can read up more about the Universal monsters. But before I go, I want to make sure that I say a big happy birthday to Brandon, the animation creator, animation fanatic. on Twitter. Happy birthday. I think he turned 29 today. So happy birthday. Hope you enjoy it. He's a big fan. He's a big fan of animated films. I know he loved Paw Patrol. He's waiting for Inside Out 2. He's waiting for Wish. I mean, he's the Transformers one. I mean, he's a big. Plus, he's an animator himself. He creates it all. He does all the animations himself. He's an artist. He's a great guy. So, if you're on my Twitter, you see Brandon, make sure you give him a happy birthday as well. But before I go, again, I just want to highlight what we talked about and just kind of recap. We did the Universal Monsters on day 30. So we had the Creature, Dracula, the Invisible Man, Frankenstein's Monster, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, the Phantom. So yeah. Before I go, just make sure a couple things for me. Just go watch a movie. Maybe you'll check out one of these movies. It won't disappoint you. It'll be a great watch. Or maybe you'll check out something on AMC or Pluto. Pluto, again, has crazy content 24/7, and there's at least 3 or 4 stations that are playing round-the-clock horror content. I watched last night a documentary, the 50 greatest films that you never saw. That was a great documentary. Some great movies on there. You can watch that right now on Pluto. They also played The Scream Queen, the Mark Patton documentary. That was a great documentary. It's where I saw the Psycho, the Alfred Hitchcock documentary. So much good content. So watch a movie, watch something. Be safe tonight if you're having a party. Be safe tomorrow as well. The world is very mysterious, unknown, and there's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world that's very scary, and we just gotta make sure you're alert, have your ears up, your eyes open, and just pay attention to your surroundings, and hug your loved ones. So watch a movie, hug your loved ones, be safe, and until the next video, till tomorrow, day 31, which is, I got a treat for you, or a trick. I don't know, it's one of them. It's either a treat or a trick, I don't know, but we'll have to see tomorrow. And we'll be live tomorrow, live trick-or-treating. So until tomorrow, until next video, this is DadPooL saying have a great night, and I love you.